Well, just to give you a little bit of the background about Bobbin Mill, I think it takes its roots from an earlier period because 1895 is a salient date in the history of Scottish Gypsy Travellers. That is the date when a report that had been collated by the Scottish Secretary, or the Secretary for Scotland, George Trevelyan, was published, and that made certain recommendations. Among the recommendations were extirpation, the creation of industrial schools, sending boys to Mars ships for correctional training, and also deportation of children in colonies, particularly Canada and Australia. So from 1895 onwards in Scotland you see an intensification of top-down structural concerted efforts, so it's really systemic what's happening, and those were all concentrated to remove a community of people viewed as a stain on the welfare state, and to bring about a final solution. So we're talking about an attempt to gradually crush and demolish Gypsy Traveller culture in Scotland. So the 1945 experiment at Bobbin Mill signalled, a continuation of ongoing anti-Gypsy policies, and what was happening in the background was a massive collusion between all vertices of local authority and central government, the Church of Scotland and the aristocracy. So all of the key stakeholders in society converged to preserve a bias against status quo change. So they wanted to retain control, and they felt this problem was getting out of hand and had to be dealt with. And the best way in which to do that was to round people up who were nomadic, force them to comply with the strictures imposed on them by settled society, so that they would renounce their cultural background and gravitate towards settled society, and then could be rehabilitated in a sense. People in the local community didn't want to absorb Gypsy Travellers into their bosom. Gypsy Travellers didn't want to be totally integrated within the local community. So, there were racial divisions there that couldn't be overcome and surmounted. And at the same time, the people in the experiments were ghettoised in degrading and inhuman conditions. So, we're talking about contravention of human rights on a massive scale. It's mind-boggling. Now, I think to continue to deny what they've done is very deeply offensive to the people who were involved in the experiments and who were so degraded by them, whose life chances have been totally decimated by these experiments, and who are suffering from, a legacy of problems as the fallout of those experiments. The head count for this particular area shows 35 families were identified. Now, there are 34 local authority areas in Scotland, so if you multiply 34 by 35, gives you like a meridian, or an average of around 1,000 families involved in Scotland alone. More and more people are appearing out of the woodwork, with tales to tell, and they also want justice, they want social justice, they want satisfaction, they want acknowledgement, and they want some form of expiation and propitiation to be afforded by the Scottish Government, none of which has been forthcoming so far. So I don't think it holds up to scrutiny to say that the Scottish Government can't apologise on behalf of previous administrations when they've done so and continue to do so. They weren't really concerned about care in the community. They were more concerned about tucking a problem away, screening it from civilised society, and bringing about a final solution.